Yeah. All right, guys, we are officially live now. We are the Brothers of D. I am Gary D. Luffy, and here I am.
There he
This
is.
guy.
I was like wondering.
Setting things up like where the fuck I was. And this is Jesus.
You can
And
find
then
me at
we got the boy
Jesus809.
in his hands all
Yo,
in. What's this name of your city nowadays?
I'm out in Suffolk, Sayville.
Sayville, from the faraway land of Sayville. But we are still here as the Brothers of D. Now, we've been gone for quite a while now, but my bad. We've been gone for quite a while now. Just figuring things, life
Life
things.
gets in the way sometimes, and like sometimes you don't make time for your passions, things that are really important, like talking about anime and manga.
Word.
But it's true though. Like a lot of times anime and manga, I watch these episodes and they really resonate with me, and I love to talk about it, and we don't get to talk about it enough. But we're still trying to do it because sometimes you guys watch and pay attention.
So expect a little more consistency. We're gonna come up there. We see a couple of views, man. One of our videos has 85 views, and we're very thankful for it.
Thank you.
The more it happens, the more you guys watch, the more we can do this, and we have a lot of cool ideas. Today's episode is a new series called The State of Anime, and the basic
The basic premise.
premise of this series is just to talk about everything that's going on. We're talking Dragon Ball, My Hero Academia, Black Clover, Sword Art Online, One Piece, of course, Seven Deadly Sins, anything that, obviously has some sort of merit in the anime and manga community is definitely going to be talked about on this show. We got a bunch of little nerd toys over here, uh, but yeah, man. So let's get down to it. We're gonna start with My Hero Academia, and not too long ago, a movie just came out, and it's really, really, really good. If you haven't seen it yet, I believe Jeff Jesus hasn't seen it.
I haven't seen it yet. I went to
Nerd.
go to Anime Fest, and I should have brought this poster out because I got some posters for us. But I haven't seen the movie yet, and I'm dying to see it. So they're gonna talk about it. Brandon over here too. I mean, in face hands.
It's all good. You can use my real name. I don't care.
I'll let Brandon start in face hands. Start with the figures, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, the movie did pretty good. I mean, here in the States, for it only being here that week, it did 5.7. 5.7 million. Yeah, it did 5.7 million. It's ranked right now in top 10. It's ranked at 10 of earnings of Japanese anime films in North America. So that's not bad. And I mean, in the 10-week span it did in Japan, it did, what was it? It did some stupid number. Yeah, 1.6 billion yen.
Oh wow.
1.6 billion yen, which translates to $1.2 million.
That's crazy.
Solid.
So we're definitely gonna get more My Hero movies to the States, which I'm looking forward to. So that's amazing for its first movie.
So they're not showing the My Hero movie in theaters anymore?
No, it was only a week.
It was only 1 week only, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna come out in some way, shape, or form on the internet for official streaming purposes. We don't really condone the whole, fake streaming thing. So by all means, wait for the legal release. It's worth it. It was really good in theaters. It was a lot of action. And I think the best part about the movie was that it actually takes place within the actual anime series itself.
Yes.
It plays in between the point where they were about to go for the
between season 2 and 3.
Yeah. The training that happened in season 3 in the beginning, it takes place right before it, and it's really cool.
Yeah, and they did without spoiling it. They did a good job with keeping it kind of individualized, like everything that went on in the movie. Like they did a good job explaining why we didn't see or hear about anything in season 3.
Right?
Yeah.
Even though it's like probably non-canon because most anime movies aren't. Actually, like that's one of the things that makes it interesting to me because it's like that's kind of like my gripe with like especially like One Piece movies. because I love like One Piece, like the world building and the lore. So it's like I appreciate when movies like this one, like they're just like, oh, there was like a little gap over here, like let's take advantage of it because something must have happened in between that time, So I'm upset that I missed out on it in theaters.
I think the coolest thing with My Hero Academia right now is the fact that there's been a couple of articles with, I think his name is Horikoshi, the
Horikoshi.
The author and illustrator and creator of My Hero Academia. He's not someone that's new to the manga game. He's actually had 2 series before that, which is really cool. Like a lot of people don't know this, but Gang Orca was from one of his previous mangas, and
Yes.
he ended up using him for this. And if you saw season 3, Gang Orca is that motherfucker. He's awesome, and it's just really cool. Like I don't know, really enjoy that kind of stuff. And there was one article in specific that I read a couple of weeks ago, maybe it could be months too, because this is not like on the cusp news, but whatever. We're still covering it because I find it interesting. It was Oda and Horikoshi together in an interview, and they talked about all this, how basically he's trying to be at the level of One Piece, and it makes sense if you look at the product itself. If you look at how much they delivered, if you look at everything that's like just been displayed for us, it's really deep shit, and I love it.
Yeah, and it's so soon, like right off the jump, first season, like you you meet All Might, and these characters' backstories are so deep. Bakugo would just, yeah, he comes off as such an asshole and everything, but when going into season 2 and everything, you go into what goes on in his head. It's like these characters are just so deep in their feelings, especially even Deku, or how much he looks up to All Might and then looks up to Bakugo, um, especially how season 2 ended, and with them just showing their feelings of why he's such an asshole to Deku, why he keeps striving to be as good in his eyes, as good as Bakugo, make his powers as cool, or if not better. Is he looks up to everyone. He looks down on himself and looks up to everyone.
We officially got that real deal. Who is the Naruto and Sasuke of the show? And that's like, that's one thing My Hero kind of kept you guessing in the beginning. Like, yeah, everyone knew that there was something between Deku and Bakugo, but then you also had Todoroki. And Todoroki was like, he's also like a dope ass character. And he also put Midoriya up on a pedestal in the sense that he's just like, a beast. So it's like, yo, man, like,
I think what at least what I hope they do is like they make it kind of different, and I feel like they're already taking that approach because like you kind of get that vibe that like Naruto Sasuke vibe with a lot of different characters, not just like Bakugo. You do get that with Todoroki. You get that even with like it's more of a like a love interest thing, but it's like what I forgot her name. Uraviti.
Urakara, whatever.
Whatever her name is, her too, and then like
the gravity bitch.
Yeah. Okay. So it's just like I feel like there's a lot of characters that they just kind of like all look up to Midoriya because to Deku, he's just he's really bringing it, and I feel like I like that contrast. It's not like a carbon copy of Sasuke and Naruto. Plus, I don't think Bakugo is gonna be like Sasuke, where he's gonna be evil. I think he's gonna.
No,
he's gonna make it his own thing.
Yeah, he's just a headstrong dude, man. He's gonna be like the Endeavor to All Might. That's exactly his character.
I think he's gonna be different than that because I feel like he's actually gonna be like a crazy hero. Like not that Endeavor isn't, but I feel like Bakugo is just going to be on another complete like unseen level that we've probably never even seen in anime. Like I feel like they're really going to set that new precedent. Like that's how I feel about this series.
Yeah. Because this series has so much promise because they started them off so young. Like they're not even out of high school yet. And then to just touch upon what Jeff said about how everyone looks up to Deku, and it's crazy. It's because they don't know the extent of like how Deku got his powers. The only one knows is at this point. I mean, if you guys are not caught up with the My Hero anime, this is spoilers, but only Bakugo knows, and they all look up to him, and it's because Deku just um, he wants to push beyond all his limits because he didn't have any power, so he's not taking this for granted. He wants to become the best hero he possibly can and live up to All Might's name, and that's why they look up to him, is because he's striving so hard, and they don't know why. They don't know why.
It's also like I feel like it's really interesting because you know, like Eraser had said it in the anime during the festival that, like, you know, like they have the weird ability to like all push each other together and like, you know, do something like that's like really great. And you know, that's why he had confidence in them during those provisional exams, right? And you know, it just hit me right now, like while we were talking about it, like, yo, that's mad similar to Luffy in One Piece, like him
Hmm.
ability to rally and get allies in any
Yeah.
situation, even people who have been his enemies. Like,
Hmm.
yo, this,
Everyone, yeah, because everyone at the end of the day is just like going towards One Piece. Every time Luffy meets someone or towards the end of the arc, everyone's just like, "Yo, that damn Straw Hat! Like he's such an awesome guy." Like like even I don't want to head towards the manga, but I mean,
I say on One Piece, we could talk about the manga, but on My Hero only anime.
yeah,
Go and watch, and that's how we're gonna do it. If you have not caught up on the One Piece manga, you can skip forward a little bit and we get there.
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
But we don't want to spoil because we know that there's a lot more My Hero fans who don't read the manga because it's a little, you know, it's. I'll say this, like I read the manga. The anime is significantly better in my opinion. A lot of especially for a series like this where everyone has a different power. To see that in black and white is sometimes very difficult to follow for me. And when I see it in the anime, it just like it clicks. I'm just like, oh, I didn't even know that really happened. So I vote if you have the patience, stick with the anime and wait. If you're impatient like me, then read the manga because
yeah.
it's fire no matter what.
I do both. I do both. I mean, I read the manga for all the animes I watch. I read the mangas, and then I just watch the animes to reinforce what I read, even
Yeah.
though it's so far behind.
So we're gonna start getting into talking about what do we expect from season 4. As stated previously before, we've all read the manga for My Hero, but we're not gonna go into spoiler territory. But we will tell you what to expect. You know, the end of season 3 showed you the next potential big baddie, and his name is Overhaul. And all I gotta say about Overhaul is it's worth the wait. This season's gonna kick ass. If what I read in the manga will show up and show to that promise of what we've been seeing so far in the anime, you guys are going to enjoy it. It's just a lot of depth into these characters, bro. A lot of depth, and it's just depth. It's just really really good. So like when it comes to shonen anime, you really like you see a bad guy, he's a bad guy, and he has his reasons, but like this show does a great job at instilling why that person has their reasons. You know, so he's like in a sense you could almost relate to the bad guy. You don't really get a lot of that. So
You know,
that's
it's so much better in a series like this when like the villains are not just they're just not like I'm evil because like a lot of times the villains are just like really well developed. You saw that with Stain, like it's like he had a fucked up mentality, but he's still like you're like fuck, I kind of agree with him in like a weird way. And you saw that like that's one of the interesting things that about the state of anime today. It's completely different from like I feel like Dragon Ball Z like or Saint Seiya years ago. Granted, I didn't really see Saint Seiya, so I don't know how the bad guys really were.
nah,
But
typical.
it was like the typical bad guys, right?
Yeah.
I'm assuming. And like today, like series like Death Note become super popular, and you know, the villains are all kind of like changing, where the villains have actualized reasons, and it's just because like we as consumers, we've evolved. You know, we don't want this basic ha Bowser versus Mario kind of thing.
Yeah.
We want to feel conflicted.
Like they're against each other just cause they're bad and evil. Like, yeah, My Hero gives you more in depth into both sides, so you can feel a certain way towards both sides. Yeah,
And
100%.
that's what you can expect from season 4, because
Let me tell you one thing about My Hero. The influence of Stain himself is still a relevant thing, even in what's going on in the manga. And the manga is way ahead of what's going on right now. That's going to happen
Yeah,
for.
yeah,
And that just goes to show you, like, oh, they didn't just put this person as a placeholder. Like, they put importance on things. They don't
yeah.
forget.
yeah.
And that's what's happening. Like, I'm gonna like steer this over to the next topic because I feel like this is we pretty much said what we could say about My Hero at this point. But this steers me over to Dragon Ball because there's a lot to talk about with Dragon Ball. Like, Broly movie's coming out, the 2 trailers are out. We've seen them all. There's a lot of hype.
Multiple times.
There's yes. There's a lot of hype and there's a lot of anger in the community right now.
Haters.
A lot
Yeah.
of so I guess like we're gonna go one by one and what we think is going on in this or how we feel about what's going on with the new era of Dragon Ball. I guess we're gonna start with let's start with Jeff over here. What he thinks.
Jesus, bro.
Jesus.
All right, so look, I used to be that guy a couple years ago where I would look at Dragon Ball Z and like I loved it because I loved it when I was growing up, but like story wise, it just didn't really do it for me when I really found like these like high quality stories, kind of like these. I'll call it a hipster kind of thing. You know, like with One Piece, you really get like really good foreshadowing. Everything's like set up, the power scaling, everything makes sense. You know, the same thing like with Death Note, for example, like the way the story is structured is like amazing. With Dragon Ball, if you aren't going to consume Dragon Ball like that, then Dragon Ball is probably not for you, because Dragon Ball is really fun to watch.
It's the story of Redcons.
Yeah, it's a story. It's a story of retcons, and it's just like you need to manage your expectations. Like, yo, at the end of the day, we already know who Goku is. Like, yeah, they might have changed his backstory for this movie, but I don't really give a fuck. That shit is better than like the story he got almost.
Yeah, you just take it for what it is nowadays, man.
It's just like, you know, like,
Toriyama just writes whatever the fuck he wants.
yeah, exactly. Superman has a whole bunch of different fucking writers. Like Batman got a whole bunch of different writers. Nobody fucking complains. Like, so let's see what happens. Maybe this Goku is gonna be like even cooler.
True.
I'm fucking down. Yo, I'm gonna tell you this. At the end of the day, at Dragon Ball Super had its fucking flaws, but when Goku Kamehameha the living fucking shit out of Kale, that shit was the best shit I've ever seen in my life. So you know this movie is gonna be crazier than that, because it's like I already love the way the art looks. It looks super old school, and you just know we're gonna see probably the best Kamehamehas that anyone has ever seen in anywhere. Like no one's like this is gonna be crazy, man.
What about you, Brandon? What do you think? What's going on?
I'm just happy for more Dragon Ball, man. Like a lot of people, yeah, a lot of old school fans may be pissed off with Akira Toriyama changing a lot of stuff because he forgets storyline or forgets this or that, and he just comes up with new stuff on the fly. I don't mind it. I don't mind it. It keeps things fresh. Yeah, it doesn't keep things consistent with continuity wise, but I just take things for what it is. I mean, maybe that's just my personality. I'm just happy there's more Dragon Ball. I don't mind the changes they're doing. Like, I don't care that there's a new Broly. I don't care that they're changing. Well, it seems like they're changing the ages between Goku and Vegeta. They're closer in age than we have thought. I don't care. I don't. I just don't. I just don't care. I want more. I want more content. I want to see more stuff. Yeah, they're going with more of the minus feel with Bardock, but I don't mind that either. It just it adds more lore to the Saiyan lineage.
True. All right, so I'll give you guys my thoughts on this whole thing too. Then, personally, I feel like it's the community itself is a double-edged sword. I'm happy that everyone is so vocal about it because one of the reasons that Broly is even a thing is because 3 years ago, people were on YouTube talking about Broly.
Yep.
That's what it is. That's really what it is. And you know, there was a lot of talking, a lot of shit talking about Super in general. Super had tons of flaws. I'm not gonna give it any excuses. Did I watch it? You're damn right I did. Why? Because I felt like a little kid again, sitting down, watching that shit week after week, looking forward to it. It was just like it was such an amazing experience, especially towards the end of the Tournament of Power arc. Everyone was just ready for it. Everyone was just like, oh my god. Like they changed the filtering, they made the animation more bolder. They did heavily shading. It was awesome. A lot of things were done to, you know, they do listen to people. They're not perfect, but they do listen. So you know what are we getting right now? What do we have right now with these trailers? These trailers are showing us a far more like personal, tragic approach at what's to come next with Dragon Ball. They understand that people really, really like Saiyans. They want questions answered. And unfortunately, whatever they wrote down in the 90s ended up causing a lot of, you know, closed holes.
May I add something?
Yeah.
So, you know, that's kind of like really funny because that's something that we mentioned earlier too about like the state of anime today. People are really clamoring for more deep characters, you know, and then that I feel like that's what it is too, you know, what you just said. In the early 90s, that was a very 90s kind of story. You know, where it's just like, you know, like a little baby like lands with a perfectly good grandfather, and then like, you know, he fights evil. But you know, people are more complicated than that. Like people, they go through shit themselves with their parents. People, you know, it's significantly more relatable than just being like a fucking alien who just like crash lands on a planet as a baby.
They want to feel more emotionally attached to a character, and that's what I get. That's what I get from My Hero. From the moment I saw the first episode, I was just
Wow.
like, yeah, man, the writing of this is right up there with freaking like, I'm gonna say it. I mean, for me, writing is up there at this point because it's nowhere near over or as far as One Piece is. It's as on par as One Piece.
Yeah,
I 100% agree.
As a lifelong One Piece fan, I agree. Like I've been reading One Piece for like 14 years now. Like at this point, I give My Hero like the nod. Like, you know, the same as like early Bleach. Early Bleach was amazing.
Yes.
Early Naruto, like the whole first like yo, even the like even past the time skip, Naruto was on point. They just kind of fudged it at the end. But that's what it is. Like with anime, man. People want we want more complex things.
They want a universe, bro, where everything connects, and you know that's what they're aiming to do. And you know, it's like at this point, I understand where Japanese animation fans feel. I get it. You know, you're used to these stories that connect with each other, and bam, the story ends. That's it, bing bamboo. But yo, man, it's like at this point, Dragon Ball is its own like Marvel slash DC slash whatever universe. It's just a different, you know, style of things, and um they're not just gonna keep the same exact thing from 20 and 30 years ago just to make the fans happy. They want new fans. They want people to make this bigger. It's also about the money. At the end of the day, it has to pay off.
Gotta make it
And
rain.
Just like Disney, it's all about the products and the toys.
this movie has been nicknamed fan service, the movie.
Fuck
because
your
it's
purist
gonna be-
part. Give me that tainted dark meat, cause I want it. I want that shit.
They gave Broly that Goku GT tan, son.
Yo, they-
Yeah.
I want like Broly. I want a good Broly, man. Broly was the original Broly. Yeah, he was the shit at kicking ass and a whole bunch of stuff like that. But that shit didn't get nobody's rocks off. Like his backstory was just like, oh,
Was bleh. And then he had no dialogue. He had no dialogue too. He had no substance to his character other than he was mad at Goku for crying so much in the pod next to him.
You know, my thing on it is like the original Broly, like the original Broly was too good for the guy who wrote it because that idea was the shit. Like the old legendary Super Saiyan, the one that Vegeta mentioned, it fit in the story too perfectly, and like like
they wasted the character.
They wasted the character. So like I'm so happy that they brought.
And let me tell you right now, I did not like any of the movies afterwards. I hated Bio Broly. That was stupid.
2 was okay. It lacked, Goku and Vegeta.
Yeah, they made it more about the next generation. But during that time, they were really trying to promote Goten, Trunks, and Gohan as the next generation. That's what they were trying to do. But
and then they fucked that up with Super.
Yeah, when you make Goku that much of a staple, I don't know. It's kind of like the Naruto / Boruto thing. There's people out there that still don't even give Boruto a chance. Yeah. Oh yeah, this guy.
Nah, I love it, bro. I love where they're doing with it.
Watch Boruto. Like there is a lot of typical shonen formula shit that you gotta like sift through, which does suck.
I don't mind the typical shonen formula. My thing is Naruto. That ending, man, with the Kaguya thing, I forgot her name, but that killed me.
Let go of that.
No.
Because let me tell you right now, after what they tied Kaguya into now,
yes,
it makes so much sense and it connects good. And I'm happy that they did that. At first, I was like, what the fuck is this shit? I don't understand this.
Is this still Kishimoto writing it?
Kishi does the plot points and he does heavily work on the series itself. I believe the manga is written by someone else, but Kishimoto is the person that helps oversee it as well. There's a lot of story elements. It's not just like oh here, just do this shit. They are like but at the end of the day, if you look into American comic movies and all that, they're written by various different people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and I guess like in the land over there in Japan, it's a lot more
in the land of Japan.
It's a lot more I'm trying to find the words to say. It's a lot more personal. Like the way they treat people out there is like it's like, oh, you created this, you're gonna be here for the long haul. For example, the guy from Hunter x Hunter, they're not going to continue this story without him until he dies. Like he's already agreed in various articles that when it's my time to go, I'm just gonna write out how everything ends and pass it off to everyone else. But for now, like these guys are being patient with me, and they let me write 10 chapters for like the next 3 or 4 months, and then I could take it off. Like I'm like, damn,
because it still has that hype. That's why. It's been slow. It's been slow, but it's just. Because what it is a lot of people are frustrated at the point where because it's supposed to be it's scheduled to be a weekly manga, but
it hasn't been for the past.
It hasn't been for the last crazy long, man. It's so frustrating.
It still has that much hype. It's crazy. So I feel like it's gonna be like another thing, like for example, what they did with Full Metal Alchemist. The original show came out and it ended differently from the manga itself, and then they brought it back afterwards after the manga was done, and then they did it right. So I wouldn't be surprised if they make another Hunter x Hunter anime and add to it.
Yeah, it would be the third reboot. I mean, well, retelling, because there was an original anime that didn't do good, and then it got redid to the one that's like on Netflix now.
Yeah,
and then it ends at that certain point when Gong meets his father. But it's still ongoing right now, so it just sucks. It's not continuing. But then it would be in the hole where it is now, where it's like they'd be coming up with crazy filler because Togashi isn't ongoing writing.
Basically. And if you're into like shit like One Piece and you haven't checked out Hunter x Hunter, definitely check it out.
If you're into Yu Yu Hakusho, watch Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah, Yu Yu Hakusho is a great show. I think our next topic though should definitely start going into the One Piece category, the goat of all goats.
There it is.
Yo,
One Piece. Last time I think we made a video, we were probably still in the reverie.
Yeah.
By the way, guys, if you watch the anime, now is the time to not watch, I guess, simply because One Piece is, you know, really.
One Piece is big enough that we feel that there's way more manga readers out there than exclusive.
Yeah, here in the West, definitely. Yeah.
Um, everyone like I don't know I know a couple like maybe a couple people that are anime only watchers, but they're also kind of like more casual fans. Um, but One Piece right now in the anime though, we're at Katakuri versus Luffy. I don't think I saw last week's episode, but I want to
Now,
talk.
this fight's dope. We saw Luffy starting to figure out observation haki.
Oh yeah. Oh man, I gotta see this shit.
Yeah, and he doesn't quite know what it is, but he's starting to figure it out.
Yeah.
He's like, whoa! I saw.
With
Like,
me.
how did he get there?
He doesn't know it's observation hockey yet, but you see how like Katakuri was getting really upset at him
but the
dodging.
latest episode was like when they actually like he makes the house and stuff. Like I didn't see that.
Oh no, we're not gonna talk about that. We're talking about the fight so far.
Oh yeah.
The fight so far. What we have seen, Brandon. I don't know if you saw the newest episode or not, but what we've seen right now was it left off with Katakuri basically leaving Luffy for dead, and which is going on now in today's episode. He's gonna go have his little tea break or whatever, which is like obviously a fucking Oda thing to do in a serious situation.
Mm-hmm. Bring comedy to some.
Look at it in the eyes, like this bothered me when I first read it, but it also makes sense. Like he says, like right before he does the attack, like no one's ever gotten out of this, and like it's really funny because he says like, oh, I won't underestimate you. So then he goes and he uses an attack that has put away every single motherfucker that's ever come at him. And then like he just eats it because he's Luffy.
Yeah.
And it's funny because that was something that Oda had also used previously in the arc against Cracker. Like Luffy was eating a whole bunch of stuff, and Luffy like says like this thing. I remember when in the manga at least when he gets out, he's like, "Oh, do I have to keep eating for every enemy here?" And I felt like that was Oda telling us like, "Guy, this is the last time I'm gonna use it. Don't worry, I got you. I know I kind of dragged it."
Yeah. Does it even happen in Whole Cake Island and in the freaking forest? He had to eat all.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty funny in the manga. At least I haven't seen it yet, but yeah. Yeah, this fight is popping, man. I can't wait to see the next episode. In the actual series right now, in the manga rather, we are past the reverie. The reverie was should we cover the reverie or should we say that for
no, we're already past. We actually discussed about the reverie in past videos.
Yeah.
We are definitely in the land of Wano now, guys.
Yeah.
We are there. We're deep in there. And it's escalating quite quickly. They're not separating everyone as much as they did like in the other arcs, which I'm very happy about.
But like they brought everyone.
We just got back together with
pretty quick. I think it's maybe only
Frankie.
Like 4 chapters. We got almost everyone together.
Think about it. Zoro is lost now, right?
Yeah, Zoro is lost. Yeah.
So the only crews that have met is pretty much the Whole Cake Island crew and Law's group.
Yeah.
Because Zoro left. So Zoro and Sanji haven't met. We still don't know how that's gonna go down. Zoro hasn't met Nami. He hasn't seen Chopper, right?
Yeah.
No. He only saw Luffy.
Yeah.
Luffy and Law. He saw Law.
So like Joy Boy got this theory that like Zoro might leave the crew. I don't know if that's gonna happen.
I don't think so.
My heart.
I think so.
He's the first crewmate, man.
Yeah, but I think it's like a recurring thing. Like like I almost like Sanji just left. The only one that
you gotta watch the Joy Boy video, bro. There's a lot of things that are really trickling down, and I think this is definitely gonna be something that's inevitable. Zoro
He's gonna at least fight Luffy one more time.
He's gonna do something against Luffy.
Or maybe just I would say he would maybe leave. Like I could see him maybe leave and have his own crew, and then just be a part of the Straw Hat fleet.
No, I don't think he's ever gonna leave that much where he's gonna start his own crew. I think he's going to leave and then come back. Same like Usopp, like Sanji, like Robin.
Yeah,
that's how I see it.
Okay, I thought you guys meant like he's gonna leave and just rival him forever.
No, not rival.
He would definitely come back. I don't see him leaving for good.
Yeah,
but it's still gonna break my heart to see Zoro walk away.
Yeah.
100%. I mean that Usopp, the fight between him and Luffy. Oh my god.
That fight.
Such a sad.
Oh, it was so sad. And then on top of it, when we got to see Luffy and Sanji just going in on Luffy, it was just like, especially in anime form, it was just like, oh my god, my heart.
Well, you want to know the main reason? Like, I don't know if Zoro's gonna leave the crew, but I know that him and Luffy are at least gonna fight. At least that's my gut feeling. Because I don't know if you guys have noticed, but like a lot of times the pre-time skip, it mirrors stuff that happens like in the post, like in the post time skip. Like there's a whole bunch of parallels. Like I don't know all of them off the top of my head. I do know like one of them is like Alabasta and Dressrosa. Like like they both save a country, for example.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one of the things that happened early on in the Grand Line. I think it was the first island that they landed on. Like Luffy and Zoro fought because Luffy thought that Zoro was being an asshole for like killing all the people in that spot.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, that was like that was the first arc.
Yeah, one of the first arcs. The first arc like, line. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, that was like right because I remember fuck. I completely forgot my train of thought. Yeah, because didn't Luffy saved him? Wasn't he locked up? Wasn't Zoro locked up?
Yeah, but that was early in the series. Like but in the Grand Line, they fought like on one of the first islands. But yeah, so I think it'll happen. I feel like that's why why Zoro's separated from the crew again. Like I feel like Oda's delaying the meeting between the reuniting of the crews. Like that was something traumatic that they left. Sanji, he fucked up. Like he just left, bro. And he left a note, and he was like, "Yo, I'm out. I'll be back." And
Zoro was 100% against it.
And then he was also against Luffy going to get him because he said that like Big Mom, we're gonna go over there, you're gonna piss off Big Mom, and then we gotta face Big Mom and fucking Kaido at the same time, and that's exactly what's happening.
Yeah, it's happening right now. Yeah, with Kaido. I mean, because the first like chapter or two when they went off against Hawkins, real quick, he was like, "Oh, here goes Luffy again at it." He's like, "Oh, he started already." I think that's exactly what Zoro said.
He's just about to have that boiling point. I feel like he's gonna have that boiling point where he just snaps and he's just like, "Yo, I'm sorry, like, nah, fuck this shit." Like, he's just gonna, I don't know. And then
like you're risking our lives over just nonsense, you being stupid. And then he leaves.
That's because Zoro's character is still worrying about himself. Like Zoro,
he's very selfish.
He does still care about his crew, but at the same time, it's just like, bro, like we're pirates. We're supposed to be like this, but he doesn't understand that they're different.
Mm-hmm.
He's really not really accepting the fact that
Yeah. I mean, even when Zoro saw that Luffy had the sword, he was just like, "Give me the sword."
What's gonna happen once Zoro gets that sword? I feel like it's gonna be crazy because Oda's been putting it off. Zoro hasn't touched that sword, and it's like, yo, man, I just know something crazy is gonna happen the second he touches that sword. I feel like it's gonna be kind of like
an awakening.
It's gonna be like Harry Potter, like when Harry first touches the wand, like he like comes. Zoro's gonna like grab it. And I feel like he's gonna feel the power of the curse, and like this whole time, think about it. Like this sword was probably at this guy's Zetsu. What's his name? Kitetsu, right? That's the guy's name, Kitetsu.
Yeah.
It's been on his side, and it's been just like there, like not
hasn't been used. Hasn't been used.
the sword, like like the curse is that like it lusts for blood, right? So it's been at Luffy's side, and Luffy's been over here in battle, and the sword is just not being used. So I feel like that curse is kind of like building up. And then like what's it called again? Joy Boy, he has like this really cool theory, like so like Kaido went to like Wano, which is this is something we found out recently, like yo, Kaido went to Wano 20 years ago, like right around like that's wild that he's been in
there
Wano.
that long, in control. And then shout out the viewers. We got 4 people watching right now. Shout out ZS. Shout out Samantha. Thanks for coming out.
Yeah.
Thank you. So what was I gonna say about so this theory that Joy Boy had is crazy because like you think about it, you ask yourself like, why is Kaido in Wano in the first place? And he built a whole bunch of factories, and he's like mining, like they're doing something with Smile. So he had a theory that that there's like a specific element in only in Wano, who's been secluded from the rest of the world, that allows you to produce kind of like the Smile. And like with the Smile, what does it do? Like you capture like the soul of an animal and you put it into like a person, right? So like what if this element was like way back when, like with Kitetsu, like it was used to like it was a metal and it was used to make the sword, so then like the sword, like maybe that's what it is, like the sword metal like actually lusts for like human blood or some shit like that. One Piece is it's been dark, man. Like Big Mom eats people.
Yo, for real.
Yo, oh my God.
Your own son, bro. Like that was wild. Ate your own son.
But then not even that. Even when they went into her backstory and found out why she was left alone, she ate everyone, bro. She was just
a monster, bro.
Like, oh my God.
I don't know if you guys saw it recently in Wano, like right before Luffy fed the whole town. Like there was this one panel with like a mom and the baby was crying because it was so hungry and she was about to kill it.
Yeah,
that's wild. That's wild. That's how sad things and desolate and dark things were in Wano. Like it's just Wano is a crazy place, and like now we got like this girl Toki, who is has a time fruit. Cheers to Goda, who definitely let us off like with without going to the past, so we don't get no plot holes.
Yeah, well, they explained that well. They said that in the world of One Piece, you can't travel to the past. You can only travel to the future.
Yeah, but dude, Wano is here, and it's one of the arcs that I've been waiting for a very long time, and I'm glad it's here. I'm glad that the pacing in this manga is as fast as it is. I do feel like they kind of like dragged it on a bit, but Jeff's actually gonna head out of here for now.
Jesus is gonna head out for now, but I will be back if we're still streaming.
Brandon and I are still.
I just wanted to get your guys' take of how do you think they're gonna go about fighting Kaido? Like, do you think Hawkins is gonna turn against Kaido and join the Straw Hats to go against like how Law did?
I hope that. I hope that happens, but I thought Hawkins was like one of those people that was good, but he's been bad the whole time.
Nah, I don't know if he actually reported what happened to Jack. I think he's like thinking about like, oh, maybe it's time to turn. He still hasn't found out what Luffy did to Big Mom. And then like he did like the whole tarot card thing is like, oh, this guy's chance to die never goes to zero. Like, what the hell? This is crazy. So like you gotta keep in mind like he started with what's his name, Apu and Kid. They all teamed up. And Apu and Hawkins, like they defected to Kaido's side, and Kid was like, "Nah, fuck y'all, like y'all can take me, like I ain't going back on my ideals."
He got raffle stomped,
and he's he got raffle stomped, and now he's in jail. So Hawkins and what's his name, Apu, they know where they are, where he is, and I feel like they're gonna do something like where it's gonna be all the Supernova versus Kaido. Like we got that Julia Bonnie hit at the Reverie.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's gonna come back. I don't know if she's gonna come back, but I think something like that is gonna happen. Kaido did say that we're gonna see the greatest war that's ever happened, And I think what's
It's
going to
gonna
happen
happen now.
is going to catch him off guard. And the Straw Hat Grand Fleet is going to
Yeah, that's it.
with the most great war that no one ever expected.
Yes, that's exactly how I see it. It's just out of nowhere, you just hear like a horn or like some like sound effect thing in a panel, and it's just like they turned the panel to the ocean, and you just see the Straw Hat Grand Fleet,
Yo,
and it's just like, oh my fucking god.
It's gonna be a fight that
to remember.
it's gonna be a fight to remember, bro. Kaido's gonna be a problem.
Way more
Um,
fans.
But do you think they're gonna start using the Grand Fleet so soon, or do you think they're gonna save it more towards the end with the new 100% confirmed final bad guy, Im Sama, with the eyes, that creepy eye guy.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, like, how are the Straw Hats out as they are right now gonna beat Kaido? I don't think there's any way. I mean, unless they do it like a Big Mom style and like leave it open because like Luffy went up against Big Mom and just threw that big punch and she caught that shit. And it's like there's no way if he couldn't beat Big Mom, there's no way Luffy himself can beat Kaido.
we have yet to experience Luffy's Devil Fruit Awakening.
Yeah, unless we get Luffy's awakening in this arc, that's like probably the only way.
Like, what's gonna happen with that? Like, that is either gonna, like, Katakuri was insanely strong, and you need to understand that Luffy beat a guy who has a Devil Fruit Awakening ability, and that alone says a lot. And there's just many factors about Luffy that put him apart from the rest. The fact that he has a straw hat means something that we still don't know yet. That straw hat increases your luck. I really think it does. I think it's something about that straw that straw hat that increases your luck. That's my own personal
Yeah,
headcanon theory because I just don't
that's true.
understand it.
Because why would another bigger Straw Hat be locked up in that building and they were trying to take it? Why did they show that during the Reverie
It
little
definitely
piece?
represents that. Like we still have yet to see Dragon in full effect. We have still have yet to see Sabo. I mean, we've seen Sabo, but not 100%, man. There's a lot of characters that are coming into play right now. The
Yeah.
Reverie is being filmed off screen, so my guess is that they might implement the Reverie arc into the anime because they have done that before. They've done things like that where like they take it to that something that didn't get covered in the manga ended up
Yes,
covered in the
they'll
anime.
go into more detail. Yeah, yeah,
Show the actual fight. They did that for I think it was the Water 7 arc. There was a fight that he didn't show in the manga, but they did it in the fight, and that was really cool. That's, I guess, maybe they purposely do these things so that the anime doesn't overlap the manga, because obviously, it's pretty close, man. The Katakuri fight's gonna be over, and
yeah.
then all that's left for them to do is,
It's Flea.
flee.
Flea Whole Cake Island.
It's gonna be nuts. But so we're gonna step into the next topic, and I believe Brandon and I will talk about Black Clover and where it's at. I believe this is gonna be our last topic too. How long have we been live for now?
Probably like an hour, almost an hour.
Let's see. It says, yeah, I don't know what it says. But yeah, Black Clover, guys, which is one of the new top three. If you really want to talk about top three, I feel like you can't even talk about top three anime anymore because it's
It's a
just so
different
much
time.
content out right now, so much awesome shit going on right now that is it really top three? I think it is one of the top three in my eyes. Um,
I mean, it might be getting there right now. Like I still hear and read that a lot of people are just very frustrated with Black Clover because it's just so cliche. Like it literally takes little niches from each popular anime and implements it. Um,
Unashamedly too, man.
yes,
They
yeah.
just straight up.
It's just well known that like Asta and Juno are exactly like Sasuke and Naruto and Goku and Vegeta. I mean, there's just so much. There's just so much that's a lot like a lot of animes that are popular right now.
What makes me laugh is when they start doing the whole whatchamacallit. Oh, uh, you gotten stronger. Well, guess what? I'm gonna get stronger too. And they just look at each other
Yeah.
for like 10 seconds.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's just oh
Like
my
just like that.
God, bro. It's just they just get so strong so quick. And then even in the manga, when it got to the point where they were in the underwater castle, or underwater temple, like when Asta got his like demon form, I was just like, wow, that was pretty quick. I was just
Well,
like
he didn't get his demon form in the manga. This is what I want to clear up. A lot of people
yeah,
saw what happened in the anime, and this is why they did that. The series needs help. It's not perfect. And the series gets way better when he does unlock his form. Now, we're going to start talking about spoilers here. So if you watch the Black Clover anime, please, stay away. But you already know that there's something being teased about Asta. And I'm going to give you guys one more chance to step away.
mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3. All right. Now we're in spoiler territory. You've been warned. Now, Asta's demon form is something really, really cool. And I think that they're doing a good job at foreshadowing of it to come. That wasn't his demon form. That was the presence of his demon form.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they did there. They couldn't do it they didn't do it in the manga. It was just sheer will and power, yada yada yada. But this whole aura thing, that was like, wow, man, they really did that. Like that was like, wow.
Yeah, we didn't see him turn full like somewhat get his demon form until the next arc when they go against the witches.
Yeah, the witch arc that's coming up now. It's gonna be really, really cool. If you haven't noticed, Asta has broken arms, and yes,
Yeah.
they're broken for a reason. They're basically irreparable at this point. He's pushed himself so much, and he screwed himself over so much that you know it's like they're trying to go against that shonen thing where like oh, I just power up and there's nothing that's gonna happen to me. I'm just gonna bust my ass. Nah, if you bust your ass, there's a chance that you will do irreversible damage to you, and that's really cool. That puts things into perspective. And later on we find out that uh, it does get fixed thanks to the witch's magic. But
Mhm.
that's as far as I'm gonna go because the series does get really good around that time.
Yeah, it's my favorite arc.
One of my favorite characters is about to be introduced into the series. She is awesome, and I'm not gonna say what her name is, but she is part of the Vermilion Leopold family, and those are
Yeah.
the Lion family. She's gonna just
Well, that's in the arc after that.
no. I
That
think
that just happened in the manga like maybe a couple months ago.
yeah. She's going to help our boy master shit because he can't do it at will.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. Yep. Yeah, there's a couple little arcs in between. That's one thing with Black Clover is that they do a good job with like they don't stay in arcs too long.
they can't because there's not. It's a new story. If they stay too long, what's gonna happen? No one has the attention span like they did for One Piece. So they're gonna definitely like cause like people to get disinterested into the show when it's still a brand new show. It still has a lot to prove. Like we just got like a major fight, and I gotta say that the Water Temple fight with against
That
with
was dope.
it was good, but I don't know, man. Like, I understand they're not that big yet, so they're taking liberties with the budget and the animation quality.
Well, remember the studio that was animating it just went through bankruptcy. So they just that I think they just changed studios. It's
It
yeah, so I mean, it's going to get better. It's gonna get better, especially with the arcs coming up with the witches, and then after that, the test.
Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah,
I gotta read.
the test. Then they make the big team.
Oh, you're talking about the royal captains, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that shit was sick, and that's when we get to meet. I love her. I'm not gonna say her name.
Yeah.
A woman. She's awesome. She's so cool. But yeah, I think that's really it with Black Clover, guys. It's still got a lot to prove in my eyes, but it's not bad. It's worth the wait. It's worth the watch at least because
Yeah.
it's developed into something really really cool.
If you
Um,
can get over the cliche shonen tropes, if that doesn't annoy you, then it's the anime for you.
definitely, definitely is. Is there any other series you want to talk about, Brandon?
No, right now, I mean, I just recently rewatched Yu Yu Hakusho. I am I'm rewatching Sword Art right now with my wife because she never watched it. Well, we never finished it, and then Alicization just started like a week ago.
So, Sword Art Online is really good.
Yo,
A lot of
beautiful
people,
animation, man. I wish every anime can be animated like that
yeah, it was dope animation. A lot of people hate it. A lot of people hate it.
because it looks too real.
But I'm nah. They just don't like the whole concept of it, you know. And
Oh,
it's
the concept of the actual anime.
yeah. But me, I'm a fan of it. I'm not gonna hate it. Now that this is out, I'm probably gonna watch it. But I feel like they've gone so far in that with that show. It's just like, what else are they gonna do? Alicization. They're gonna make it about Alice again. That's her name, right?
No, no, her name is
I
oh
forgot.
my Asuna.
Asuna. Okay. All right. So I don't know what Alicization is. So maybe I should watch it to find out what.
Yeah.
But I
Eh,
feel like that the person on the cover that was I thought it was her, I guess, but maybe I was wrong.
well, she's probably going to be more of a prominent character, but it looks like they're going back to like a medieval kind of game.
Yeah,
Because remember when they beat the first game, um, the creator gave the whole like network or like the whole um outline of Sword Art Online to Kirito. So Kirito put that online. So now there's a shit ton of different RPGs.
yeah,
So they could jump into a bunch of different RPGs and create different storylines. I mean, my favorite arc of Sword Art was probably the Gun Gao arc because it was so different from the first two. It was about guns, and then I love how they incorporated his skill set into a gun game, which
yeah.
was crazy.
And it's cool because he's that little lightsaber thing.
Yeah, that shit was dope, yo. Deflecting all the bullets and stuff.
Ben Gale. I feel like what was the thing about the story? How people were getting killed. I really wish there was an actual way that they were killing people through the game. I think that would have been so sick, but we ended up finding out later on, what it really was. And,
Yeah, it was just multiple people from the laughing, coughing, like going into people's houses and shit.
and just injecting them. Yeah,
Yeah, that yo, for real, bro.
that's mad dark.
That's
Like,
why it's my favorite arc. Like it just the fights were dope. The writing was pretty good. I mean, for the most part. I mean, Kirito is a very strategic dude, so he's able to find out stuff really quick. That's why he's like, He's like, he's no way he can kill people through the actual game because it's not like the original Sword Art. So he must have multiple people from like the Laughing Coffin or like something going into these people's houses, and that's exactly what it was. He's like, you freaking found it out when he was fighting Death Gun.
word, that's true. I gotta go back into watching that again because I gotta really refresh my memory. I watched so much anime lately, but guys, I just want to say if you're coming in now, the stream is about to end. I just want to say thank you for watching. I want to say uh, if you're just coming in now, take a look at the stream earlier. We talked about Dragon Ball. We talked about My Hero Academia. We talked about One Piece, uh,
Black Clover,
Black Clover, and right
a
now we
little
just
bit of
talked
Sword
about
Art.
Sword Art Online. we got a couple ideas for other video topics. If you guys have any, feel free to list them in the replies. And we're all about talking to you guys too. If you're into that engagement, we're about it too. And if it keeps going, our main goal is to have some really, really authentic anime and manga related giveaways. We want to give back if you can give back to us. This is what it's about. So, thanks for stopping by. I am Gary D. Luffy. This is my boy
In Faith's Hands. See
And
you guys.
earlier today we had Jesus on here on the channel. We are the Brothers of D. We love anime and manga. We love the culture, and we're trying to make something cool happen soon. So, yeah, take care, guys. Peace.
Peace.